Hello guys. Today we are going to learn a simple and logical way to figure out the exact fret location of any interval on the guitar fretboard without memorization using the NANDI method. I would like to introduce you to an interval training app called Guitar Intervals Unleashed, which is free to download on the App Store and Google Play. In it, you will find interactive exercises and timed games based on a series of topics related to decoding, identifying, and inverting intervals on the guitar. Included in this series is an app called Interval Architecture, which I would like to tell you a little bit more about. The specific purpose of this app is to help you practice locating intervals on different string sets. Unlike most guitar training apps, which display interval locations with the tap of a button, Interval Architecture is a dynamic app which relies on user responses to display an interval's location. You will see why you do not have to memorize interval locations ever again. Is this really possible, you might ask? The answer is yes. If you can successfully answer a couple of simple questions based on the logic of the fretboard, you will understand, for example, why an interval is 2, 3, or 4 frets above or below the root on a non-adjacent string. The app has a hint feature to give you a head start. Let's explore pitch distances on the fretboard, which is an integral part of the interval location. The 6 strings of the guitar are tuned to the notes E, A, D, G, B, E. These notes are referred to as the open notes, which are sounded by plucking each string individually. Knowing the pitch distance between these open notes is the first step towards understanding intervals and their locations. Because of the way the guitar is tuned, all adjacent open notes except G to B are 1/4 apart, or 5 half steps apart. So how do we figure out, for example, that E to A is a 4th? You count 5 chromatic notes that follow E, which are F, F sharp, G, G sharp, and A. So you can say that E to A is a 4th. Alternatively, you can count a total of 4 letter notes from E to A, which would be E, F, G, A. Using the same approach, you can also figure out the 4ths between open notes A to D, D to G, and B to E. Now, what about the major third interval of 4 half steps between G and B? Well, you can count 4 chromatic letters from G to B, which is G sharp, A sharp, and B, or you could count a total of 3 letters, G, A, and B, to arrive at a major third. When you look at the figure here, you see how you can figure out that if E to A is 5 half steps, then E to D is 10 half steps, 5 plus 5, and E to G, which is 5 plus 5 plus 5, or 15 half steps, and so on. Now you may ask, how is this information relevant? Well, you will soon see why. If E and A is a 4th, any 2 notes on the same fret are also a 4th apart. Obviously, 1 to 4 is a 4th. This is due to the fact that the distance between any 2 notes at the same fret on a string set will be the same as the distance between the open notes on that string set. Let's say we want to locate 2, which is a major second interval of 2 half steps. How do we figure out its location on the E to A string set? Simple. We take the 2 half steps that are in a major second and deduct it from 5 half steps, which is in the perfect 4th between E and A, and arrive at 3 half steps, or 3 frets. Remember, half steps equal the same number of frets on the guitar. This means that a major second from the root on the E string is located 3 frets below on the A string. Let's move on to the E to D string set. As you can see, if we add 5 half steps from E to A and 5 half steps from A to D, we get 10 half steps. We call this interval a minor seventh. Anytime an interval's half steps is the same as the half steps between the open notes, then the interval is located on the same fret as the root. This explains why the 1 to 4 on the E to A string set and 1 to flat 7 on the E to D string set are on the same fret. What if we want to locate the 5 on the E to D string set? You should know that a perfect fifth is an interval of 7 half steps. Simply deduct 7 from 10 and you get 3 half steps or 3 frets. You can now infer that a perfect fifth from the root on the E string is 3 frets down on the D string. It's that simple. You can see the app's user interface elements on the screen now. With this app, you select an interval, as also the string set of your choice, and begin answering prompts displayed on the screen. Based on your interval and string selection, you will be prompted to answer the questions on the number of half steps between open notes on the chosen string set and also the half steps in the interval you chose to identify. You will be able to pick the correct answer from the provided answer choices. There are 2 ways you can explore the app. There is a training mode to practice and a game mode with a timer and score to keep you challenged. Give this app a try and see how you can master interval locations on the guitar. You will never have the need to memorize an interval's location because you will learn how to figure it out yourself. Alright guys, there you have it. Download the app Guitar Intervals Unleashed, available on the App Store and Google Play today.